With Halloween just around the corner, it's a good time to reflect on why we fear ghosts, goblins, and other creatures of monstrosity. We know these things aren't real, so why do we continue to be frightened of monsters we know can't possibly harm us? Monster theory offers a simple answer. Monsters represent the other. If you ever wanted to know what humanity feared at any point in history, look to their monsters. Ancient civilizations that could be wiped out by an earthquake and tsunami? Voila, you've got Tiamat from Sumerian history. Victorian women getting too frisky with their ankles and sexual proclivities? Enter Dracula. To explain this further, let's take a look at Jeffrey Jerome Cohen's 7 Theses of Monster Culture. We won't have time to go over all of them, but we'll hit the highlights. Thesis 1. The monster's body is a cultural body. Essentially, this means that a monster is created during a moment of change or tumult within a society. The way a monster looks, how it is read, is entirely the construct of a culture in chaos. This makes sense, as the etymology of the word monster, monstrum, literally means to warn. Monsters are created as warnings for a society. Thesis 2. The monster always escapes. Anyone who's watched a horror movie knows the bad guy always survives the final battle. What this thesis really means is that monsters can fade into obscurity only to pop up decades or centuries later in a new outfit. Vampire folklore originally held the creatures to be the causes of illness and misfortune. But once the Victorian era came along with all its stuffy repression, the vampire turned into a dashing, seductive creature. This is what Cohen means by escape. Cultures borrow monsters of old and recreate them to suit modern-day fears. Thesis 4. The monster dwells at the gates of difference. Monsters live in places we don't understand, just as we don't understand them. We can see this manifest throughout our history with colonization, gender politics, sexuality, and more. Anything that is foreign to our limited understanding of the world is swiftly demonized. Thesis 5. The monster polices the borders of the possible. Monsters have been used to tell us as humans what not to do since their inception. Don't be sexually aggressive or a vampire will come and get you. Don't focus on material possessions or you'll turn into a mindless zombie. Monsters tell us how to behave so we don't become like them. We end with Cohen's own words. Monsters are our children. They bring a fuller knowledge of our place in history and the history of knowing our place. They bear self-knowledge, human knowledge. Monsters ask us how we perceive the world and how we have misrepresented what we have attempted to place. They ask us to reevaluate our cultural assumptions. They ask why we have created them.